You know, people ask me all the time, can you do the Great Loop solo? The real question isn't can you, it's should you and how to do it. The answer I'm going to give here is real on-the-water experience, not just theory. Stick around, I've done over 2,000 miles on the Great Loop solo, and I'll show you how I did it. The answer to your question, though, is yes. Many do the Great Loop solo. Some are doing it right now. One of the subscribers to the videos asked this particular question, and I've actually had it a few times. Yes, you can do the Great Loop. Many do it every year. Some by circumstances and then some by choice. I'll explain the circumstances one here in a minute. Docking is the hardest part of the Great Loop. Not fuel, not weather, not breakdowns. It'll be docking. Why is docking difficult? Well, when you combine wind with the current and then maybe no one there to help you catch a line, that is a challenge. Whenever you're docking, mistakes happen fast at slow speeds. The key points about running solo and docking is preparation. When you have your boat set up in such a way that when you ease up to the dock, you in some cases, and that's why I've got this window here, I can drop the line over the cleat and pull myself tight from sitting at the helm. Some boats don't allow that. And to be truthful with you, sometimes not docking is the best decision at all. I've seen people come in when the wind, and it's actually happened to me, where they come in and the wind is just pushing, which creates waves, and no matter what you do, you cannot hit that dock safely or easily. In those particular circumstances where you can't dock, just go anchor until it calms down. Sometimes you're near a marina and there will be little coves or whatever you can go get in and just anchor and wait, and oftentimes the wind changes. In that particular docking situation I told you a minute ago about when the wind was really bad, I knew that a couple of hours later that the wind was supposed to lay down, and in fact it did, but I got talked into going in by someone with me at the time. Another one I get often when you're soloing is locks, but locks are easier than you think. They actually are in most cases controlled water, more controlled wind, and it happens real slow. Lock staff is there each time that you're going to be locking through. And like I said, it's a slower process than you think. The locks is not what you should fear.
Guys, I'm going to drop in a little clip here of going through the locks. In certain areas, I had to speed it up because you're going so slow. So you'll see here how slow you're entering. Locks are not anything to fear because they're easier than you think. There's not a lot of flowing water and nothing happens really fast in a lock. This quick little lock through, and this was in the Carver OG, which was much bigger than what I got now, but it's still very doable. I would say this is getting pretty close to the maximum size boat that you could do it single-handedly. You know, basically the locking through is holding the boat while the water either drops or comes up, and in this case it's coming up. So you just sit there and kind of hang on. It's a pretty slow process until the water reaches the level, and then you start easing out of the lock.
Thank you for the wait, sir. Appreciate that. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
So guys, as you can see, it's pretty easy locking through. You can go back and see this entire video, and several times I locked through on the Great Loop Season 1.
Just like anything, like we're talking about with solo, preparation is the key. With a smaller boat like this particular boat, much easier than the Carver 32 or Good Times OG, because you just had so much more of a bigger boat. Weather and decision making. Weather is really not the problem, it's the decision or pressure to go when you shouldn't. If you will wait, in most cases, the weather will change. Solo looping requires humility. Of course, the good thing is there's no one else there to judge you if you decide not to go. And usually what I found, if you're questioning whether you should go or should not go, you shouldn't. That means something in your back of your mind's telling you, don't do it. I think many of you will remember, just did a video about it, that the most dangerous thing on a boat is a schedule. Pretty much if you have to be somewhere at a certain time over a period of days, that's an accident waiting to happen. I guess one of the bad things about soloing on the Great Loop is the decision making. You've got to make all the decisions, and you don't want to be making those decisions whenever you're fatigued. So that's one of the greatest reasons why you don't want to push yourself. Who should pause before going solo? If docking already causes you panic, you probably shouldn't go solo. Or if you rush decisions, or that you rely on others to make your decisions for you, you shouldn't go solo. If you struggle with the changing of plans, you probably shouldn't go solo. These are not, the things that I talk about are not permanent limitations. They're just skills you're going to need to build up to be able to do it efficiently and calmly. Solo looping works out the best for people who stay calm under pressure, who also don't mind waiting out the weather, who prefers anchors over marinas, and they value preparation over speed. Just remember that the Great Loop is not a race unless you're trying to set a record. Otherwise, it's meant to take your time and enjoy the trip and enjoy the people that you meet. So the question comes down to, do you think you could do the loop solo? If you can't, or you don't think you could, how about drop a comment of what it is that makes you nervous? Because one of the goals on my channel is to dispel those beliefs. Usually people are scared or they get nervous about something that they fear, and oftentimes that fear is not based in reality, meaning their mind is guessing what it's like instead of knowing what it's like. And on this channel, I want to dispel those type of beliefs, because I'm telling you, in most cases, there's very few people that could not do the loop solo. You know, there's going to be probably many cases why people would have to do the loop solo if they were going to go. Let's say you could start the Great Loop, and let's say maybe you were with a buddy boat, and then the buddy boat stops. Well, you got one choice. You're either going to stop or you're going to go. I'm always going to go. Another one might be that you got a partner who's going to come with you, and that could be a wife or friends or what have you, and they're not able to handle it and they back out. You're either going to stop or you're going to go solo. In these type situations, it's okay for you to go solo. The Great Loop is one of the greatest adventures that we have in the U.S., especially for boaters. Even if you don't complete it all at one time and you do parts of it, and I've heard this time and time again, and I can testify that it's true, when you do the Great Loop and all the adventures that it brings and challenges, but you will be so proud of yourself for doing that, and you will have stories forever. It's one of the best things there are to do. You've heard me say on this channel that if you're going to do the Great Loop, you are to start a YouTube video, because there's something about filming that, knowing that people are going to watch that it makes you feel like that people are there. It's really strange to explain, but it does do that, and it's a great, great experience. Guys, if this video helped you out, how about drop a comment? I hope that if your only way of doing the Great Loop is solo, that you go ahead and do it, because you will be forever grateful that you did. Leave me a comment, because when I get those comments and I see the same ones coming up, I try to include them in a video to help more of you, because I want to see you on the Great Loop.